My brothers and sisters, let me tell you something today. When God puts his hand on your life, not everybody is going to celebrate it. When the anointing of heaven rests on you, it won't make you popular, it will make you powerful. You see, being dangerously anointed doesn't mean you live in comfort. It means you live with a calling. Some of you are wondering, why do I face so many battles? Why does it feel like the enemy has marked me? Oh, that's because you're not ordinary. You carry something sacred, something that shakes the gates of hell. The anointing isn't a decoration. It's a declaration that you've been chosen for divine warfare. Let me tell you something, child of God. When the anointing of the Lord comes upon your life, it doesn't come quietly. It doesn't sit politely in the corner. Oh no, it shakes the atmosphere around you. The moment God places his oil on you, you become marked. Marked for greatness, yes, but also marked for battle. The anointing doesn't just attract favor, it attracts opposition. Because the moment heaven recognizes you, hell notices you too. See, when David was anointed, he wasn't sitting in the palace. He was still out in the field tending sheep. The oil poured on his head didn't immediately change his surroundings. It changed his assignment. And when that oil hit him, enemies started rising up. Goliath showed up with his armor and arrogance. Saul turned his back in jealousy. But what David didn't know at first was that the pressure he faced was proof of the power he carried. You've got to understand this. The devil doesn't chase people going nowhere. He only hunts those carrying divine purpose. If you feel like all hell has broken loose in your life, maybe it's because heaven has already spoken your name. When you're anointed, your presence becomes a problem to the darkness. The enemy looks at you and says, I can't let them move forward, because if they do, they'll set others free. They'll shake nations. They'll change lives. That's why doors close suddenly. That's why relationships shift. That's why the people you thought were for you suddenly start to pull away. It's not that you did something wrong. It's that you carry something right. God's anointing on your life exposes the insecurity of others and the strategy of the enemy. You see, the oil doesn't just shine, it separates. It draws a line between who's meant to walk with you and who's meant to walk away from you. And I want you to hear me today. Don't misinterpret the attack as abandonment. The storm is not there to destroy you. It's there to develop you. You can't carry heavy anointing with light pressure. God allows certain battles because he's building spiritual muscle. He's teaching you to pray when it's dark, to praise when it hurts, to trust when it makes no sense. The anointing trains you in warfare before it places you in victory. When David faced Goliath, he didn't win because of his experience. He won because of his anointing. The same oil that called him was the same oil that kept him. And that same oil will keep you. The battle proves the anointing. The weight of the resistance confirms the weight of your purpose. If the fight feels unfair, it's because your destiny carries divine fire. So don't run from the attack, rise in it, stand firm in who you are. Because when you're dangerously anointed, no weapon formed against you will prosper. The enemy can throw darts, but he can't destroy what God has destined. You've got the mark of heaven on your spirit, the breath of God in your lungs, and the authority of Christ in your steps. I came to tell somebody today, your warfare is not random. The pressure is not punishment. It's proof. Proof that you're chosen. Proof that you're carrying something powerful. Proof that the oil is real on your life. So hold your head high and remember, when you are truly anointed, you will be attacked, but you will not be defeated, because the same God who anointed you is the same God who will defend you. You're not breaking down. You're being built up. The anointing is making you dangerous. And when you finally step into what God promised you, the world will see why the enemy tried so hard to stop you. Because you, my friend, are dangerously anointed by God. Let me tell you something right now. The anointing of God is a holy thing. It's not just about preaching loud, singing strong, or standing tall. It's about walking straight when nobody's watching. It's about integrity when the lights are off and nobody's clapping. Because hear me, Anointing without character is a disaster waiting to happen. You can be gifted and still be broken inside. You can be powerful on stage but weak in the dark. God is not impressed by your performance. He's moved by your purity. When God anoints you, He doesn't just want to use your hands. He wants to shape your heart. Before He releases you into purpose, He refines you through pressure. Because anointing is not only about power, it's about trust. God says, can I trust you with influence? Can I trust you with favor? Can I trust you to carry my name without staining my reputation? You see, before David wore a crown, he learned how to carry a heart. Before he sat on the throne, he sat in silence before God. The oil didn't come to make him famous. It came to make him faithful. That's where many people get it wrong. They want the platform, but they don't want the process. They want the spotlight, but not the shaping. But God says, if you can't be holy in private, you can't be effective in public. The oil flows on those who have learned how to obey when it's not convenient, how to serve when nobody is watching, how to stay humble when promotion comes knocking. The dangerous anointing doesn't come from skipping the struggle. It comes from surviving it with your integrity still intact. Let me make it plain. Character is what keeps you where the anointing takes you. Because the anointing can open doors, but only character can help you stay there. You might be able to sing heaven down, preach fire, lead powerfully, but if your heart isn't right, eventually the cracks will show. God doesn't want actors in His kingdom. He wants ambassadors who represent Him truthfully. He's looking for people who live what they preach, who love when it hurts, who forgive when it's not fair, who remain humble even when they're highly favored. So don't despise the quiet seasons. That's where character is formed. That's where God tests the vessel before He fills it. You might feel hidden, but you're not forgotten. God is preparing you privately so He can use you publicly. Every test you pass in the dark becomes strength for your ministry in the light. Every time you resist temptation, you prove to heaven that your anointing is anchored in obedience. Some people carry talent that amazes, but God is looking for hearts that obey. Because obedience is the true proof of anointing. When you can say yes to God, even when it costs you comfort, even when it costs you friends, even when it costs you your plan, that's when you become dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. That's when the oil flows freely. That's when you carry not just the power of God, but the presence of God. So let this be your prayer. Lord, don't just anoint me to be seen. Anoint me to be pure. Don't just give me gifts, give me grace. Don't just lift me, shape me, mold me, make me the person you can trust. Because when your character catches up to your calling, you become unstoppable. The same fire that once tested you will now burn through you. You see, being dangerously anointed doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're surrendered. It means your will has bowed to God's will. It means you've learned that power without purity is poison. But when the oil and your obedience flow together, when your gift and your integrity walk hand in hand, when your passion is grounded in holiness, then nothing in hell can stop what heaven has started. So stand firm, stay clean, stay humble, because you are not just anointed to impress, you are anointed to impact. And when your character is pure, your anointing becomes dangerous.